Okay, I am going to see a movie so you don't have to. I'm going to go see the new Jennifer Lawrence film, No Hard Feelings. And it seems to be somewhat of a raunchy comedy. It does feature some nudity, and it sounds like it could be fun. Stick around, and through a little bit of video magic on Grant's part, I'll be right back. Here we go.
One, please.
Hi. Mind if I touch your wiener?
What?
And through the magic of editing, I'm back. And I just want to say, I saw a movie, so you don't have to. Couldn't be more true, unfortunately. And I'm going to say this before I get into any of this film, and I'm going to try not to drop too many spoilers, although the trailer kind of gives this movie away. There's a lot of heart in this film. There's a good story. 2/3 of the movie or more were good. There were jokes that landed, there were chuckles here and there were a lot of things that didn't land, and some real cringy things that show us what, unfortunately, the world in the younger person's life, the kids that are going off to college, what's going on in their life. And it's terrible, but it does call attention to something very accurately, and it's the fact that we have generations of children brought up by helicopter parents that actually are killing their kids. I mean, not literally, but they're ruining their opportunity to grow, and they're leaving them permanently in, well, a 8-year-old brain because they never grow up. I think Mr. H coined the phrase over on the H-Cast episode 40 of the Participation Award Group. That's what it was. And he's 100%. And I think that's a pretty good term because they get participation trophies for doing everything. They never have to deal with failure. They don't experience any kind of growth. And that outlines the young boy character that is in this film. It does also outline very effectively the character Jennifer Lawrence is playing as a shell of a person that exists superficially through meaningless relationships that don't have any kind of staying power. More because she never processed through the trauma of having her father abandon her, and for the reasons that I'm not going to disclose here because that would be a spoiler. Look, we'll start at the very beginning. Jennifer Lawrence needs a car. The car that she has is being repossessed because she didn't pay her property taxes. Well, all kinds of problems with that because that's not the way the asset forfeiture thing works. It's not for those purposes and not in that manner. But you also have her being an Uber driver, and she takes advantage of the fact that people come to her community in the summer to summer there, and she drives Uber to get the majority of her money for the rest of the year. Small problem, she obviously lost the car, so she finds a Craigslist ad that essentially solicits her to date this couple's son who's been overprotected, and you find that he's really not that far away from coming out from underneath his shell. She works within his framework, within his timing to the best of her ability, which she has limited abilities when it comes to this. She's, again, playing a very superficial character. But as time goes on, they both instill growth in each other. And the car that she's going to be getting is a car that you couldn't drive Uber for because it's not a new enough model vehicle. And she ends up actually picking people up in a car that's not in great shape a few times, and manages to make her money to pay her property taxes. And all of those things actually work themselves out. The problem here is because of how cynical the people involved in this were, there's no happy ending here. They can't do it. It's the problem with this woke neo-Marxism. They don't understand anybody being happy ever. In fact, you're destined to live in unsatisfied misery. or at the very least unsatisfied in one particular aspect of your life or another. And strangely, they seem to promote a form of class warfare and obviously, you know, circumstances that drive people apart, you know, in a very strange way. But again, there was a good story here. There was potentially quite the love story involved here. There was an allusion to that being a potential because of another relationship that has taken place in the framework of this film. The performances were great. The young fellow, I don't remember his name, the actor's name, he does a great job playing his character, and he's driven to change and does a great job of it. And Jennifer Lawrence's character does the same in the other direction, recognizing her shortcomings and, you know, grappling with those. And in the end, as always with these types of films, and this is not a new style of film, it's not a new story. You know, there's something happens to drive a wedge between them, and then, you know, then it's a fight to get them back together. And of course, this film revolves around the woman doing that, where in normal circumstances it would be the man, but it couldn't be farther from important for a change. One of the things that I do find is that there's still subtle knocks on masculinity, and there is a whole lot of current year in the film, and that's a real shame as well. You always are going to date your projects in a way that won't make them enjoyable for generations. When you do things like that, your goal always should be to make them timeless. This film was close, but I saw it so you didn't have to. So let's get down to the ratings real quickly. It's better than The Flash, and if you saw my Flash review, which is right over there, I did not think very highly of The Flash. But this is better than The Flash. This is a solid 4.5 to 5 out of 10 if you're going to do it that way, or it's a 2.8 stars if you want to go back to the thing I prefer, which is 5 stars. It's not quite average. It's for now, I mean, it's average for the last 5 or 6 years, but it's not quite an average film in the overall context of cinema. And again, I just feel like with another couple of passes by somebody that's qualified to go through that script and doctor it up, you have a much better film. Anyway, those are my thoughts on No Hard Feelings. Hopefully you'll get something out of it. Hopefully you'll save your money, because I promise you this will be on streaming in a minute. But if you are looking for something that isn't The Flash or The Blackening or Elemental, well, this is an option for you, and one that you could probably stomach with only minor elements of cringe. Once again, hour-and-a-half film, 2/3 of it are okay, and that's unfortunately where we're at in this day and age. And with that, hopefully you get a chance to check out all of today's videos and all the live streams that are going to happen today as well. With that being said, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene, especially when you're at the theater. And until next time, bye.